Okay, we're going to take a look at lesson 5-7, and I actually have imported the worksheet for tomorrow into this lesson so that hopefully we can kind of go over it a little bit and you guys would be able to work on this independently after watching this video. So what you see here is we have skills practice. It says scatter plots and lines of fit. So you see 4 scatter plots that are on this worksheet. And basically what you're looking for is to determine whether or not the scatter plot has positive correlation, negative correlation, or no correlation. And if there's a positive or negative correlation, then you need to describe its meaning in the situation. So what you're looking for, if a scatter plot has a positive correlation, then generally the dots are trending upward. So if we look at the first one here, and let's see, if I go ahead and draw, which is not drawing, pause. On number 1, you can see that basically the dots are trending upward, so that would mean a positive correlation. If you look at number 3, the dots are trending downward, so that would be a negative correlation. But if we look at one like number 2, it's really hard to determine any kind of a pattern there. The dots seem to be pretty random. They're not trending upward, they're not trending downward. So number 2 would be an example of no correlation. Now on these, when they ask you to describe the meaning in the situation, what they're just simply asking you to do is say, okay, what is this data showing us? So on number 1, what it would be showing you is that the more that you exercise, the number of calories that you burn increases. Okay, whereas like with number 3, the more, the more weight that you lift, the fewer repetitions you do. So, that type of thing is what they're looking for. And of course, if there is no correlation, then you don't have to describe the meaning, only if there is a positive or a negative correlation. If we take a look at the rest of the worksheet, they say, okay, what they've done is they've basically, on the graph at the bottom, on the scatter plot on the bottom, they've drawn a line of fit. And a line of fit is a line that's drawn through the points so that you have about half of the points above the line and half of the points below the line. So it's a nice straight line. You're not going to play dot to dot and try to connect the dots. You're simply going to draw a straight line through the data so that you have half the points above the line and half the points below. Okay? And then they're asking you, number 5, what relationship exists. So they're saying positive, negative, or no correlation. They're asking you to predict the price of a ticket in the future. And the way that you would do that is they give you some points in number 6 to use to be able to write an equation in slope-intercept form. So you've done this before on previous worksheets where you're given 2 points and you calculated the slope, and then you chose one of the points and you figured out what B was, the y-intercept. Now, we don't typically, haven't done this in the past with numbers that are so large or numbers that are decimals, but it's going to work exactly the same way. You're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to determine the slope, m. And then once you have m, you'll choose one of the points in number 6 to use for x and y in order to figure out what b is. And then once you find b, you'll put m and b into the equation. So it'll be y equals a value for m times x plus a value for b. On the next sheet, let's take a look at the next sheet. Okay, on the back side, we have more of the same at the top. Determine whether or not the scatter plot has positive, negative, or no correlation. If there is a correlation, describe what its meaning is in the situation. Numbers 3, you're supposed to draw your own scatter plot based upon the data that is in the table right here. Okay, so you're going to take this data using cases, using the year as your x value, cases as your y value, and you're going to graph those points on that graph right there. Okay, it says also to determine what relationship exists in the data. So if there's a trend, if there's positive, negative, or no correlation, say what it is. In number 4, they're asking you to draw a line of fit for the scatter plot. So you've put all your points, your dots on your graph. Now go ahead and draw a nice straight line through those points, not plain dot to dot, you know, straight line so that you have half the points above and half the points below. Number 5, it says write the slope-intercept form of an equation for the line of fit. So pick 2 points that are kind of on the line that you've drawn, and you're going to then calculate the slope by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You're going to pick one of the points to use for x and y and find b. Number 6 is asking you to make a prediction for the number of cases in 2004. So what you'll do is you'll take the equation that you created in number 5. You're going to put in 2004 for x, and then figure out what y is. Or, yeah, I said that correctly. All right. Number 7, once again, they're asking you to draw a scatter plot. So you're going to use the data, this table right here is the data that you're going to use for number 7. You're going to then plot those points on this graph, and you'll notice that unlike the one up above, they did not mark the axes for you, okay? But you're going to put the average on the bottom, and you will put the, let's see, the max on the side, on the y-axis. And you'll have to come up with how you're going to do your numbers at the bottom of that. I would probably, on the max, go up by 10s is my recommendation. So your first, you know, you'll have 0 down here, your origin. But then your first lineup will be 10, second one 20, third one 30, and all of your points should fit that way. On the average, you should be able to maybe skip. Yeah, you could probably do every 2 lines is 10 on your x-axis for the average. Okay, on number 8, you will draw the line of fit. Nice straight line going through the points that you plotted on the graph. Number 9, you're going to write the slope-intercept form of an equation for that line of fit. So once again, that means picking a couple of points, using those points to determine your x1, y1, and x2, y2. So then you can calculate slope by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then, once again, picking one of the points for x and y and finding b. Number 10 asks you to predict the maximum longevity for an animal with an average longevity of 33 years. Well, remember that your average longevity, okay, is what's on your x-axis. Your maximum longevity is your y-axis. Okay, so what you're going to do is plug in 33 for x and then see what y is after you plug in 33 for x. Okay, that's how you'll make your prediction. Hopefully this helps. Just do the best you can. I know it's not always ideal to try to do this without me there to be able to answer questions, but do the best you can with all of this. See you soon. Bye.